My grandmother asked me to leave because I'm not my parents' child.
What does that mean?
I, 21 female, have a brother and a sister, 17 to 16, and I grew up in a great home. My parents, 42 male and 40 female, have always been very loving to me and put up with a lot of my crap over the years, but they have been the best. I finished my semester last week and am home for Christmas holiday. Friday, I decided to stop by my grandmother's house, Dad's mother. She's always been distant to me, so I thought I could maybe spend some time with her. After idle chit-chat, she finally asked what I wanted. I said I just want to spend time with my grandmother. She snorted and said I should probably go track them down then.
She went, track them down.
I asked her what she meant. She told me that the man I have always known as my dad was not my dad. She said that my dad had a wife before my mom who was a cheating sleut and got pregnant by another man.
Oh, wow.
Shortly after my mother left and left a beaster child with my dad, said he met a good woman shortly after that and that he had her real grandkids with that woman. She told me that she told my dad for years to leave me in a foster home and let the government handle me since he had no connection to me, but he refused.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
This is so much.
Katie Paladin, just to clarify, OP is the affair child from her father's previous relationship, not related to her father at all. Her father just took her in.
Yeah.
By the way, this comes from What to Do. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I was in shock. I went to my car and called my mom and asked her. She told me to come home so we could talk. She said that it was true, but it didn't matter to my dad. And when they got together, she fell in love with me too. She told me I am just as much her daughter as my siblings, and she will always love me. I told her I needed to think, so I went to a high school friend's place. I stayed there yesterday, and I am still here. My mother has called me several times, as has my dad, but I just can't talk at the moment. I have texted that I am okay, but I need to think. I don't know what to do. My whole life was a lie. The people I thought were my parents and siblings are not, and I can't handle it. How can they stand to be around me? How can they love me? What do I do? And we have an update.
No one's saying your family hates you.
Oh,
and
no.
Yeah, they love you. I think this is a genuine shock.
OP, take solace in the fact that your dad had literally no obligation to you. And yet he...
And your mom.
Yeah, and your mom also had no obligation to you. But they loved you, and they wanted you to be a part of their lives. You know, see you as their child because you are their child. Don't worry about your family. I would have a conversation to them and ask why they hid it for so long.
Well, I would also be like, hey, Grandma said this
Also, Grandma.
in all of spite. I think Grandma does not like me.
Yeah, no, I'd be like, hey, you should talk to Grandma because she kind of sucks. Update 3 days later. My parents have been wonderful to me and they have brought me unconditional love my entire life. They have never treated me any different from my siblings and are great. Okay, so OP's back on the wagon.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of shock.
Monday, I went home and was immediately swarmed by my crying sister and hugged, saying, where was I this weekend? I cried and hugged her, telling her I promised I would tell her later. I wanted to have my parents with me to help explain. My brother just gave me the up chin thing because apparently he's too cool to hug his sister. So I chased him and hugged him anyways.
Cute. And Opie went, where's my hug? And he went, no. Ah!
Mom got home from work first and immediately came to me and put me in a vice hug, saying she was worried. Dad did the same thing when he got home. So we decided to finally have the talk, and they brought my siblings in. They told them the entire story of what happened with my biological parents and how Dad had decided to keep me. When he met my mom, she reaffirmed she fell in love with me. They told me they feel no different about me than my siblings. There was a short silence until my brother said, I'm still the annoying big sister who picked on him. Nothing really changed. I started crying again and force hugged him again. After a mushy point of everyone reaffirming, I told my parents I really didn't want to go over there. I had told my mom on the phone what my grandmother had told me, but I didn't say how. So I told them exactly how she told me. I had never seen anger in my mom's eyes like that. Not even when they had to bail me out of jail at 16. Dang. Lore?
What did you do at 16?
But I know what you guys should do. Listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit left. This is really sweet.
Gross and gushy and disgusting and amazing.
Yeah, and I hope that your mom freaking punts your grandma to the moon. Just right to the moon. She goes, phew. She doesn't even need a rocket.
I'd pay to watch that.
She's so quick.
You'd pay to watch a human grandmother be booted out of our atmosphere into like a orbit of some kind?
Yeah,
How much money?
$50.
That's like less than a UFC pay-per-view. Are you serious?
I'm watching someone get punted to the moon,
You'd
bro.
spend more on Legos than watching a human being be physically kicked all the way to the moon?
Sure.
We got a little bit left, though.
Nah, I'd like to stay on this for a long time, actually.
Okay. How much would you pay? Exactly. Good answer.
I think I'd wait till it came out on TV.
Yeah, shut up. No one's watching DVDs anymore.
I don't know. It's probably on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're gonna get back to the stories real soon, but I have to know. Sophia, what are you doing?
I'm gathering all my worms for the early bird special.
What are you talking about?
The early bird special for the OK Storytime live show, where tickets are $10 until August 26th.
Okay, Storytime
I'm
Live!
the ugliest person in the entire world.
Oh, so this is exclusive head.
What? No way!
Yep. Go to okop.show to get tickets early. She got up and told my dad she wanted to speak to him in the other room. Mostly it was muffled, but their voices were getting angry. Finally, my mom yelled that she was not having Christmas dinner with the witch who hurt her baby.
Aww.
After a few more minutes of angry talk, they came back. Mom said that we were going to have an immediate family only Christmas dinner this year, and we would see about visits to grandma's in the future. I could tell Dad was upset over this, but he never had any real control over our family before. So I feel relieved not having to go there for Christmas. I don't really know if I want to see her again. I loved her, but I guess it was not mutual, which hurts. Anyways, thank you everyone who made me realize that they were always my parents and will always be, even if I don't share their DNA.
There it is.
And final comments, Punk Pix says, I'm curious about your one line. I could tell Dad was upset over this, but never had any real control over her family before. What exactly does that mean? OP says, Mom's always worn the pants of the family. Her decision is usually the final one. Dad always just lets her make decisions. I felt he was upset we were not going to his mother's this Christmas, but Mom's word was final. It seems like they're okay with that, but I'm glad that you have your family on your side and that Grandma is gonna stay away.
That's the end of that story. We have another one coming right up.
Sure do.
My half-siblings refused to teach me their language, so I started learning on my own.
Who needs teachers nowadays, am I right?
Okay, so there's me, 15 male, and my older siblings, John, 20 male, and Kara, 17 female. Fake names, obviously. They're my half-siblings, but we all live with our mom, who is half Japanese. Their dad was fully Japanese, and my dad is white. They both speak Japanese with each other and do some of the cultural stuff too, because they still talk to their dad's family and visit them. They never do those things with me, even though I've asked them to help me learn Japanese. I did Duolingo, and I tried researching, but they always brushed it off or laughed at me because I never really got good at it. Kara said she'll help me when she has time, but she's been saying that for years, so she clearly doesn't mean it. John doesn't even touch the subject. So I decided that I don't care about it anymore, and I won't try. Now I'm learning Russian because my mom said my dad is Russian. I figured I might as well embrace that side of me since she's never going to bother helping me with her side. Me and my friend, also 15 male, are both learning it together at our school during our free period because he thought it sounded cool.
Russian does kind of sound cool.
Yeah.
Sounds very robotic.
By the way, this comes from user Learning Russian. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I started watching a show that me and my siblings usually watch together, but in Russian, because I thought it would help me. My sister noticed it, and now she's giving me the silent treatment. I asked my brother about it, and he said I'm being ridiculous and immature, and he won't really explain anything either. I don't think I did anything wrong. I think they're just mad that I don't need their Japanese anymore. But they both seem pretty sure, and usually they're the ones running the house, so am I the a-hole for learning Russian instead of Japanese? We have some questions here. Is Opie an a-hole for learning a language?
Literally not at all. Like, you just want to learn a language. That's it. It's nothing against anyone else. And they didn't want to teach him. So he's like, well, you know what? It's really hard. Whatever. I'm going to go with this. Why
Yeah.
is that an issue for them?
Yeah.
It affects them 0%.
Maybe it was like you were giving them attention that I want to learn Japanese, I want to learn Japanese. And now that you're like, I don't want to learn Japanese, they're like, wait, we kind of like
How do
you
you
bugging
fit
us.
into this now?
I think you're doing the right thing, Opie. I think you should still learn Japanese and learn about that side of culture, but maybe give Russian the priority for now.
Yeah.
So we have some questions here. Is there a reason why Opie's brother would be checking his phone? Opie says, Kara got caught talking to this college student, and now John thinks he has to check me too, even though I wouldn't do that. We have an update the next day.
Oh.
Sort of have an update, but also some clarifications. I wouldn't really call myself an affair child because it sounds really rich or something. In my neighborhood, there's a lot of cheating and baby daddy drama, so I didn't really ever feel out of place. John and Kara don't ever do anything to make me feel bad about it either, except, the whole Japanese thing. I'm not fluent in Japanese or Russian, just English. I've tried learning Japanese, but it's pretty hard when all you have is Duolingo and nobody that wants to talk to you about it. Now, for the update. Sometimes their dad's family comes to visit because they've got other relatives in the state. This time, though, they said they want John and Kara to come to Japan for winter break. I found out after school, and I don't even want to look at them. It's all expenses paid, so there's nothing keeping them here, and I'm going to be stuck with my mom while they play around in Japan without me. Kara tried to talk about the Russian thing again, but I just went to my friend's house, typing this on his phone while he reads over my shoulder like a weirdo, because I don't care about whatever she wants to say. I really don't want to be stuck here with my mom for 2 weeks for Christmas. And we have a second update. Let's get right into it. This is 8 days later. John and Kara didn't go to school today so they could catch their flight. I didn't get to skip school to see them off, which sucked, but it's because I was staying with my friend, Jimmy. He's more relevant now, so he gets a name. John wanted me too, so I didn't have to go over there alone because my mom was being crazy again. Apparently, when she found out that I wasn't staying with her during break, she got really butthurt. I don't know why she cares because I know for a fact she hasn't bought any presents. She threw a bunch of plates and drove off. John says she's probably with her boyfriend. He and Kara drove me to Jimmy's. We did our goodbyes there. Then they drove to one of John's friends' houses because he's their ride. I'm still mad that we aren't doing Christmas together. I'm with Jimmy and his dad. I thought it was his dad, but my friend said he wasn't, and he didn't tell me what he is, so I'm still confused. That sounds irrelevant. And they're gonna be going to Japan touristing. I told John I didn't want to talk to him because he's still being a wiener about the whole Russian-Japanese thing. But I'm nervous now because me and Jimmy were watching videos on YouTube and TikTok about planes, and then one of those disaster movies with another plane crashing in it. Okay, you sound like a 15-year-old male. Typical stuff, I think. It feels like a sign that they're going to crash or something. I can't even text them because they can't be on their phones on the plane. I'm also worried my mom is going to find out where Jimmy lives and make a whole scene. I guess this isn't much of an update because the only new thing is John and Kara, they're going to Japan and I'm staying here in America. I'm still mad, but it feels less important right now. And we have an update 6 days later. Do we have any thoughts before we get into this next update?
I feel bad for OP because obviously I feel like he wanted to go on the trip. It's technically like not his side of the family, so obviously they're not just gonna like randomly bring this kid along.
They just treat you like the black sheep.
Yeah.
Which you shouldn't be.
Yeah, which sucks. I mean, you didn't do anything wrong, and obviously they probably know that, but it's just like circumstances. I mean, I guess make the best of it. If you can, hang out with Jimmy, go hang out with Jimmy most of the time.
Learn more Russian with Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't want to hang out with your mom, though, I guess. Well, I don't know. She threw plates and then drove away, so now I can kind of see it.
It's just giving 15-year-old male, just 15-year-old teenager stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to hang out with my mom.
Yeah,
I want to do stuff.
This is very true.
Update 3, 6 days later. Jimmy and I have been having a pretty good time. I learned that the guy is actually his uncle, so that's nice to know.
Who? What?
Jimmy's dad, that he thought it was his dad, but not his dad,
Oh.
and Jimmy didn't clarify.
Jimmy's mom.
He took us out to eat, and we went to this light display at the park. I talked with Kara for a bit, and John even said hi, too. He told me that mom hasn't stopped messaging them, and they had to mute her, which makes sense. We all talked about break and about the conversation drifting back to the Russian-Japanese stuff. I told him me and Jimmy were watching a bunch of old cartoons in Russian. Kara at least seemed mildly interested and said that even just listening to a foreign language makes it easier to grasp. I think she cares a lot less about the whole thing than me and John do. She still definitely feels superior knowing Japanese, but I think going to Japan made her feel a lot less strongly about it. Kara and John are basically done with celebrations now because Christmas Day isn't a big deal in Japan, only Christmas Eve. Kara said it was fun celebrating with their cousins, but that she's excited to come back to me. John said he doesn't like the cousins and that they don't like him either, and I believe him because people don't usually like him. They're stuck in Japan for another 2 weeks or so, just doing everyday things now because their family doesn't want them to act, touristy. Kara sent me a bunch of pictures and she's smiling super big in each one. Seeing them made me miss them both more, but it also made me even more annoyed. They've got this whole other family and all I have is mom, and their other family has enough money to bring them to Japan for 2 weeks, even though they barely like them. I think Kara and John complain about them to make me less jealous, but it only makes me angrier. I think the real update though is that my mom tried to make a scene, but she failed because she doesn't actually know where Jimmy lives. She thought he lived in our neighborhood, but Jimmy is a school friend from across town. So mom screamed at some neighbors because their son has the same name as Jimmy, but their Jimmy is 23. So she went home again. I know this because that Jimmy is friends with John and John told him. Me and Kara laughed about it for a bit, and I'm pretty sure my mom won't do anything embarrassing for the rest of break. Fingers crossed. I don't think I'll have any real updates to the original Russian and Japanese issue until John and Kara come back and we have to be around each other again. Update 4 over 1 month later. I think Opie just wants to learn about who they are and family stuff.
I mean, he does feel like the black sheep, that he's kind of an outsider compared to, the other two who have the same dad and can speak a different language to each other and have that side of their family go on fun activities and do things. And he's just kind of like, well, I know they're like my siblings, but
It doesn't seem like it.
I mean, well, also, I don't know, siblings do this.
I don't know. OP, again, you're 15. It sucks because no one's gonna be like, hey, you're a 15-year-old. What do you want?
Yeah.
I think you need to have that conversation. It seems like you have a really genuine one or a better one with Kara. I just want to learn about my culture. And sorry that I'm not 100% Japanese, but I'm half. And I want to learn about that. I feel like I'm being treated as an outcast and this isn't fair. We have an update over 1 month later. Do we think OP is fluent in any language other than English?
No. I mean, I think you can grasp Russian, but not anywhere where you can speak it.
So, been a while, and a lot of stuff has happened. I didn't forget about this account. I just knew an update would take a lot of effort. School started again a few weeks ago, and Kara and John have been back for a while. They brought me a lot of cool stuff, and do really like it, but I feel like I'm giving in and being too easy to please. Our mom's been gone since I got back from Jimmy's house, so it was just us for like 2 weeks. It was nice being around them, but weird because we weren't bringing any of the problems up. I was keeping up with the Russian because I still really want to learn it. I wasn't shoving it in anyone's faces, but John and I share a room, and he saw me practicing my writing. John got mad and told me I don't even have a real connection to Russia because I've never met my dad, that it's weird that I'm forcing it. We got in kind of a fight, and I ended up leaving my phone at home because John made me and Kara share our locations, and I didn't want him following me. And I'm going to Jimmy's house again. John figured out where I was pretty fast because...
I was gonna say, he knows where Jimmy lives. He dropped you off a billion times, so
yeah.
The only other place you go to is Jimmy's house.
Again, 15-year-old.
I'm not gonna take my phone, so he'll never find where I am.
He won't know where I am.
He found me pretty quick.
I don't really have any other friends. Oh, he didn't chase after me though, and he texted Clark. Clark is Jimmy's uncle from the previous post, that I could stay the night. Clark let me, but told me to stop walking around town at night without my phone because it is a dangerous area. I think I'm starting to really hate John. I don't know what his problem is. Kara didn't do anything, but I don't really want to talk to her either. I don't understand why they didn't want me to be Japanese, and now they don't want me to be Russian. They don't want me to be anything, I guess. And we have some relevant comments. You did say, nobody likes John, so I would just take anything that John says as, shut up, no one likes you. And you like, gee, I wonder why nobody likes you. You're an a-hole to everyone.
I don't know what John's problem is. He's also 20, so I don't know, get over yourself. You're bullying a 15-year-old, and it's your brother.
You're letting a 15-year-old affect you.
I'd be like, that's really cool. If someone was learning a language, I'd be like, cool.
I think you need to get out of this town.
Yeah.
You need to travel. When you grow up, you're 15. You still gotta figure it out.
Run away. Be free, Opie.
Relevant comments. Does Opie know anything about his biological father? Opie says, I've never met my dad, and my mom doesn't have contact with him, so it would be pretty hard to try and meet him. And I do get along with my siblings most of the time. It's mostly just this one thing that became a huge issue. I know John wants me to be safe, and Kara sticks up for me a lot at school, but I can't stand being around them right now. Another question is, has Opie's mother told him anything about his biological father? Opie says, she said he's probably back in Russia. He was here for some work thing, and their relationship wasn't serious at all. She doesn't even know his last name, so I probably wouldn't ever be able to look for him until I take a DNA test. But I really do like figuring out Russian with Jimmy because it's nice doing it with someone instead of trying to be alone. Aw.
He just doesn't want to be alone. He wants someone, because he sees Kara and John together all the time, and he just gets reminded, I'm not really close to my siblings, and the only person I have is Jimmy. He kind of feels lonely. He's and he doesn't even, I don't even see him all the time because I'm 15 and don't have a car.
Is it a shame to learn, to wanting to learn a new language, especially, something that's in your culture?
I don't like that they're making him feel bad about wanting to dive deeper into his family history.
We have a 5th update though.
Dang.
Another month later. My mom dropped me some slightly new information about my dad. Apparently, he was engaged when they had their little fling. She says I shouldn't chase after him because he's probably married and has been for years, and I'd be ruining his life. Kara says I should try to find him, which I have been doing, but I have barely anything to go off of. She said the marriage isn't an issue either because I can bribe my dad into giving me money so I don't tell his wife he cheated on her when they were engaged. She was definitely joking, but I don't think it's funny. And personally, for me, not funny either.
That's like conniving. Why would that be like the first thing she thinks of?
John said not to bother and that I shouldn't need my dad's approval, which is stupid because I'm not looking for approval. I just wanted to meet the guy. Also, my mom has a new boyfriend and he's extremely annoying. He decided to be our father figure and he sent me to my room for not doing the dishes that my mom made. John told me he'll get rid of the guy soon though, so I'm just toughing it out. John and Clark have been becoming friends lately and it's actually super obnoxious. I like being able to go to Clark and Jimmy's house when my family's being annoying, but like 3 times out of 10, John is already there. I don't even see what they could possibly be bonding over. Jimmy just thinks it's funny, but I don't think he gets just how awful John is. Kara even came over once just to stand around. Literally, just didn't talk to anyone. Just stood there for like 5 minutes and then left. This is giving sibling dynamic.
Yeah.
Like John's like, I don't care about you. It's giving Roderick.
Aw, Dairopi kid.
John's just like, I'm making sure that OP's fine at Clark's place, and that's that. But I'm not gonna show that I care.
Kind of like, let me have this hard exterior, because mom's making me do it. Not my choice. I'd be out with my buddies.
Update number 6, 8 days later. I have an actual update, but I figured I'd answer some of the questions I saw first. Question number 1, where am I? I'm not sharing my state, obviously, but I live in a pretty rural area. My mom moved here from California, which is where she met John and Kara's dad. Where we live, we're basically the only Asian people. I don't know how she met my dad here, but she leaves a lot, so maybe she wasn't here when she met him. I'm thinking like Ohio.
Why?
Because you're here.
Whatever.
Question number 2, why do John and Kara gatekeep Japanese, and are they even fluent? Opie says, I don't know. They seem pretty fluent to me, but I've never seen them write anything. Some people thought they might like having it as a them thing. Makes sense. Their grandparents call like once a month and speak Japanese then. Still, I don't necessarily want them to teach it to me, but I wish they'd let me work on it. I talked with John about it a little, and he said it'd be a pain to help me because I don't have anything to work with. So I told him, I don't care about it now because I'm not trying to learn Japanese anymore. Aw. Question 3, is my dad even actually Russian? Opie says, I wouldn't know. My mom lies about a lot of things, but I don't think she's lying about this because it wouldn't benefit her. The update below does confuse me a bit though, because some of the new info doesn't make him sound Russian. I decided to use my mom's boyfriend to my advantage. He's very focused on being perfect. So I got Jimmy to help me make a sob story about not knowing my dad. I went up to him like, I feel like a part of me is missing, and I wish my mom would just tell me anything so I could just know myself. And it worked on him. I guess he can be Perry. Seemed super disturbed and wanted to make me happy. He talked to my mom and they argued for a bit, but he got my dad's name. The bad news is the name is not something I've ever heard. I don't even know how to spell it, or if he said it right, or if my mom said it right. It's definitely not English. I feel like I've got a good idea of what Russian names sound like, and it doesn't really sound like one of those either. I will write what it sounds like below. Yarasol.
Yarasole.
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 I don't know.
Yeah.
Opie continues saying, I've been looking at Russian name lists to see if any could fit, but I'm not having a lot of luck. John has too, but he thinks either Mom or Perry messed it up somehow. John's helping you?
Aw.
See, again, I think it's giving Roderick.
The name is Vladimir
No, name is
Putin.
Vladimir. Yeah, everyone's name is Vladimir. Nikolai.
Nikolai.
Kara thinks Mom is lying to get Perry off her back, which is also possible. Mom hasn't been in the mood for Perry since, and now when he's over, all that they do is fight. I think they're going to break up soon, but at least he helped me a little. Something more related to the original post, John has started learning Russian. Sort of. Mostly just curse words, and it's really pissing me off. I told him he can't get mad at me for doing that and refuse to help me with Japanese just to mess with me by saying Russian curse words.
That's funny, but also I'd be pissed.
Kara won't even take my side because she's ignoring both of us, and she's mad for some reason. We even fought over it, and I ended up locking him out of my room. He doesn't even seem angry, he's just always a little bit annoyed. Jimmy agrees with me. Clark says John is probably trying to make peace and get along with me over this. And there's an edit. I got my mom to say the name again to see if Perry missed something. The way she said it made it seem like there was a E at the beginning, like a AITAH.
Yes.
Update 7 months later.
Yarasole.
What world were you in right there?
There's a lot going on this board.
Yeah, I can tell. We have an update 7, but any thoughts other than Yarasole?
Yarasole.
No, okay.
No, wait, I think
Okay.
that's all.
Holy
How old is OP? I can tell you 15 male.
15.
No, I mean, I have been listening to the whole story. I think that, I mean, is he like really trying to find his dad?
I think he's trying to find his dad, but I think John, he's trying to help
He's like half helping.
in a way that he like shows that he kind of cares, but not really showing that he cares. Still don't understand the Japanese thing. He even learned Russian to like probably make a small bond with you, like say bad words, like you're like little code.
No, he totally did it to like make him feel bad. To be like, oh, I can learn it too. And be like, oh, no. Like swear word. And then they're just like, you just say swear words back in Japanese.
Update 7, 3 months later. It's been a while, but I have a few big updates, so it's worth it. I did get the DNA results back, and I'm only like 7% Russian.
Aw, he went through all that. Dang it. Wait, so like, what is he then?
We're at least Japanese.
Yeah, we know he's half.
I had some stuff I expected, like a little more than a quarter Japanese and a quarter of assorted white ethnicities from my mom's side. My dad's actually had a lot of stuff on it, but basically, he's mostly Asian, like a lot of different Chinese and Central Asian bits. Me, my siblings, and Jimmy figured some of those comments were right, and that he was actually from one of the many different Russian-speaking countries in Asia, and not actually Russian. Uzbekistan or something like that.
Beats me. I couldn't tell you one thing about it. I've never been there. Doesn't exist in my mind.
I'm just happy that my efforts in Russian were not wasted. That was interesting, but the bigger update is that I matched with a relative, but it wasn't my dad. We talked a little on the app, but we aren't really sure what the exact relation is because there's a few options. We're both each other's closest match, and she can't really help me a lot because she was adopted and only did a DNA test to match with someone who could tell her some information.
Dang, they're both on there for the same reason. Aw.
Aw. OP just wants a sense of identity.
OP's having the terrible, no good, very bad day.
Found something. I mean, it wasn't your dad, but you found something. You found someone related to you.
But they're in the same spot as you, so I don't know. Maybe you can bond over that.
Yeah.
Are they same age or are they like friggin' 50 or something?
OPC be like, well, time to learn Chinese. Or,
Well, Korean time.
this person who is related to me in some way, somehow. She did confirm that we're Kazakh specifically, but she doesn't know anything about our family. It kind of sucks, but we're getting along. And even though we aren't really sure what we are to each other, I've been calling her my aunt, and she likes that.
Oh.
She went to Kazakhstan a few years ago to visit her old orphanage, so she was telling me about it. It was really weird getting information so easily from her because my mom doesn't ever share anything about her childhood or our dad's. She was just super chill and said she's really interested in meeting me. She lives in New York City.
New York.
And Kara thinks we should just make a road trip out of it. John is a little suspicious of my aunt, but I think he's just surprised that everything went so smoothly. I don't think there will be any updates after this. If I do end up meeting my aunt, or if I match with my dad, then that would be update material. But neither of those will probably happen for a long time. Is there any updates on this story?
I wouldn't want, OP, I wouldn't want you to go. Not right now. You're 15. How old is this lady?
If you go with your siblings, I think
Yeah, if you go with your siblings, okay. But still, just like...
I mean, this seems really sweet. Again, I feel bad for OP because all he wants is just a sense of identity and like culture.
He does. Yeah, that's like all he's been looking for this whole time.
His siblings won't really allow him to do it, which is dumb.
He's going through personal... What I had the word. Personal...
Discovery.
No. Personal turmoil.
Yes.
He's going through personal turmoil.
Puberty.
He's bleeding.
But that is the end of that story, and we have another one coming right up.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
I guarantee you what sprung this all up, they probably had like a, what are you? And he's like, I don't know. Someone went up to him like, what are you? And he probably just want to say it with his chest, like, I'm a proud Japanese Russian guy.
I'm Japanese Russian.
That's me. I'm Filipino Russian.
You're Russian?
Thanks for asking, yeah.
I didn't know that. Wait, what is your ethnicity? Filipino and Russian? You're not white? I only know white.
I know, obviously I know I'm Filipino. My dad says we're Russian, but I haven't done like the DNA test of like what it's really nitty gritty into because Russia is gigantic, especially if you put it down to like Russia, I don't know, 80 years ago. Even then, a lot has changed. I could be a lot, but we go with just Russian, maybe Polish or like Ukrainian. Keon's dad is Putin. No, he is not.
Everyone is Putin.
Yeah, my family's Russian Jew.
My father canceled on my wedding for his stepdaughters. So I told him we're done.
Way to choose her over me.
My dad, 60 male, and I, 26 female, had a really good relationship until I was 10. That's when he met his current wife and became a stepfather to her 3 kids, and when he started to treat his stepdaughter like she was the golden child. Everything she wanted, she got. He would show up to everything she invited him to, even if it meant canceling plans he already had. He abandoned plans with me so many times because she wanted him to watch her dance or something. His wife divided her time a little more equally among her 3 kids, but she kind of favored her daughter too. Our relationship was never the same after that. There were times he would be like, "Why are you so distant with me?" or "Where's my special girl gone?" And we would talk about it and he'd be a little more present. But he always went back to his old behavior. After a few years of that, his stepdaughter decided she wanted a sister, so my dad insisted the 3 of us do things together. I wanted no part of it because my dad still only cared about what she wanted. The last time we all did something, I made her cry because I told her she wasn't my sister and she stole my dad and I wanted her to leave me alone.
Well, that's
Well, that's not a good thing to say. He asked me why I would be so mean to my sister, and we got into our first actual fight. A week later, he apologized, and he told me he'd do better, but it was the same as the other times.
oh man, OP, that's disappointing.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway Blubberly. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. As OP says, he didn't even come to my graduation because his wife was out of town visiting her sons and his stepdaughter got sick. That was the day we had our second fight, and I left the house with all my stuff packed.
Why do you keep giving him chances? I know you want him in your life, but you just keep getting disappointed every time. And he just goes back to his old ways every time.
I lived with my grandparents for 2 years before I was able to get a place with my fiance, boyfriend at the time. Dad and I have talked about our issues a few additional times while we were both adults. I took a year of no contact, and after that, he started making a much better effort to be a better dad. That lasted until I told him the date for my wedding. Before setting the actual date, he had told me it was fine, but then when I told him it was official, he announced his stepdaughter was engaged and they would all be flying out to Spain for a week so she could get married in her fiance's home. This is hard. It's like choosing between your children, and obviously he has been doing that this entire time, so he made his bed, so I guess lay in it. But also, my guy, that stinks. And because she went no contact, they don't even know, like, when they're obviously not invited to each other's weddings.
I don't know, this dad's already obviously made his choice.
He told me he had to go for that, so he couldn't make my wedding anymore. I told him not to talk to me again and to forget about my wedding and me, since she's always going to come first. He tried to say something, and I told him to go F himself and kiss his stepdaughter's butt some more since he loves her so dang much. There is a little bit left here.
You should have done this a long time ago so you never got your hopes up ever again.
Yeah, it stinks because you want to keep giving people, especially people you love and care about, the benefit of the doubt. Like, he is your dad.
I don't know. I couldn't do this this is pretty much your entire life, OP, of just being, other than the first 10 years, being let down over and over again and being second. I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. It sucks.
It stinks. I don't know what his problem is, but I think for your sanity, just going no contact, just being like, I don't have a dad, just kind of forgetting him, which is sad.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything, like, you've done everything in order for him to notice you or pay attention or care about you, and he just tosses you to the side every time. So,
And Jasmine says that's easier said than done, and
I
I don't deny that, but just you see it over and over and over again. You're like, it's changing this time. It's gonna change this time. I'm just glad OP finally realized it's never gonna change. And you know what? That's it. Don't come to the wedding. I don't know you.
Yeah, Jacqueline Delgado said, I went no contact with my father going on 10 years because he chose my stepsisters over his bio kids. None of us dislike each other, but it is what it is.
Dang.
Yeah, I feel like that's how this is. Like, it is what it is. It's like no one really hates each other. I mean, OP does.
OP's done the thing too. She's had conversations with him time after time, and he's like, yeah, I'll do better. Does better for like a week, maybe 2, and then just fails her again.
That was months ago, and he reached out again asking me to invite him and saying he will be there and to please let him show me he can do this. I ignored his request, but he already told extended family who I talked to, and they told me I could at least give him the chance to prove to me because don't I want him to show me? He'll choose me over her. I don't see why I would give him another chance to put her before me, but I wanted advice because there are people suggesting I give him a chance who also think he sucks overall for choosing her and for canceling plans to make more with his stepdaughter.
I don't know. People was like, give him another chance. Be like, I gave him hundreds of chances. And now that he's faced the backlash and now he's faced the consequences, I should give him another chance that he'll show me he'll change. I've done this before. No, it's not fair to me.
It's sad because, like, his family, he is your dad. He's kind of like the only family, like, close family, I'm guessing.
Grandparents.
Well, yeah, I guess the grandparents, yeah. And obviously fiance and whatnot. But it just, it's so frustrating because obviously all you want to do, or all you want is that your dad is at your wedding. That is a special day.
Damn, King Fine says it's rough as heck mourning the loss of someone who's still breathing.
It's true. It's so freaking true. I say invite him. I don't know. I say invite him. Kiana, what do you say?
I'm over him.
Yeah. Sophia?
Do what feels right for you.
Do what is best for you, not best for everybody else.
That's true.
If people are saying, do it, great. Do you want to do it? I think a little bit of you does want you to do it. But again, you've just been like let down time and time again. It just gets numb. You get jaded. I feel bad.
But that's the end of that story.
My roommate got angry I ate my own groceries because she was also using them.
Those are mine.
Trigger warning for mentions of eating disorders. I've been living with my roommate for a couple of months, and it's been going swimmingly. I'm okay sharing my food with my roommate, but I don't touch the food she buys because I have a binge eating disorder, and I honestly prefer to never touch her food. It's just my personal preference to not open that door, to allow myself to eat it during a heavy binge. I draw a hard line there. By the way, this comes from roommate to throwaway, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Recently, I bought some avocados and tortilla chips, so during a binge, I ended up eating up all my avocados and chips.
Ooh, shout out to the avocados.
Avocados, that sounds pretty good. My roommate wanted to take an avocado to work. She's an essential worker and she hates the food they serve in her restaurant. She didn't ask me. She took an avocado without asking.
Avocados are not
pricey.
Yeah, they're not cheap out there, especially the big ones.
She didn't ask me or anything since we have the unspoken agreement that she can help herself to my food. You should probably speak on this agreement.
Wait, verbatim, she said,
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
She wanted to take some of the chips too. Today in the morning, she was packing her lunch for work and she realized there were no avocados or chips left.
Oh no, what is she gonna do?
So she woke me up mad that I had eaten them all, and now she doesn't have anything to take to work.
Tackling you on sight. You woke me up and you want my food.
Oh, and that I'm a massive effing cow for eating everything, and that I'm super selfish. Saying that
Tackling
to
on sight.
someone who you know has an eating disorder.
And that you just woke up. You woke her.
And
you
you
woke
stole
up.
her food? Someone call, I don't know.
Someone call the mad, please, because I'm mad.
I'm mad. I'm super sensitive about my weight because even if I am at a healthy weight, I bust my butt exercising to counteract the horrible binges. I am going to therapy to improve my relationship with food since I still get bad impulsive binges. I wanted to cry right then and there due to her comment, but I took none of her BS and I started screaming at her. I was going to say that was a little harsh, maybe overreaction. However, you were woken up.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for OP.
Saying that I am never letting her touch my food again if she's going to act so entitled to the stuff I pay for. That I never, in the 5 months I've been living with her, have eaten her food she bought without her offering it to me first. That she can eat crap for all I care. Honestly, all valid remarks. Personally, I would have approached it with a little bit more calm, a little bit more facts. You got the message across.
Again, Sophia, OP was woken up.
She was
and
woken up.
She's very EP right now.
She was woken up and it was about, so it was super valid. You're not the a-hole. I'm just saying, always good to approach things calmly.
Listen,
That's okay.
there are a couple things I love in life.
Sleep.
Carly. Sleep.
Aw, you love Carly before sleep? That's so lovely.
They and food. Those are like the top three.
That's true. She got teary and said that she can't afford similar foods to what I can, then you can't eat them. I'm sorry. And how much she hates the unhealthy food her work offers. So she wanted to take a nice burrito bowl, and that now she has a cheesy bean salad. By the way, she did this with mostly my food. The only thing she bought was the cheese. She also pointed out that I was a spoiled a-hole who doesn't need to go out and expose themselves to the virus and still gets paid loads. I am a junior accountant in a big company. I do get better pay than her. She left and I got a text later from a mutual friend saying that my roommate is struggling with money and that I shouldn't eat all the food, especially when it's so much, and that I should think about my health.
Oh.
A mutual friend said that, and I would text back, I'm assuming that you told her this. I don't know if you remember the conversation where I said that I had a eating disorder and also all of that food I paid for. Please don't comment about my weight ever again or what I eat.
You're on thin ice, friend.
My roommate expects an apology from me for eating everything, forcing her to eat the food at her work, which she gets for free, and for yelling at her. I wanted to be vindictive and eat a bowl of her cereal and throw the rest in the trash, but I'm not about that life. I know I'm not in the wrong here, but she's making me feel horrible, so maybe I am, since our mutual friend said the same. Cut them both off. So please, am I the a-hole? And we've got an update. No.
When were you the a-hole? This is
No.
your food that you bought that's
Yeah.
for you, and she's taking it from you without asking, and then calling you names for, I don't know, eating your own food.
I strongly doubt that your mutual friend has been told the truth. And if she was told the truth, then she's not your friend.
This is hard because this was during the vid.
Yeah.
But one, how did you get to live with this person?
Also, what she was saying about, healthy foods are expensive. It is expensive to get avocados, absolutely. However, the things that she had mentioned, which she took from you, like beans are very cheap. That's like a typically very cheap source of food. So the fact that she's taking that from you and then saying, oh, I can't afford it.
Yeah, it's...
When she gets food for free at work too.
There's so many things here. The biggest one, it's probably the easiest one, is she never asked.
Yes, and also she never asked.
If she asked and said, can I have some of your beans? Or can I have some of this? Can I have some of that? I feel like, personally, OP, you don't care, but at least it's some.
She quite literally bit the hand that fed her. And now she's gonna not get fed.
And she's still gonna blame you.
Yeah. We got an update though. I wasn't expecting to post an update before talking to my roommate, but here we are. After receiving plenty of comments from a lot of you that my roommate may have told our mutual friend a completely different story from the truth, I decided to ask her what was said to be able to defend myself and to be sure my side and the truth were heard. She told me that my roommate told her that the food was bought by the both of us. And I would just send literal receipts.
Typical.
That I promised her the avocado and chips for her lunch today, that she just came to me calmly asking if I had seen them, and that I confessed to her I had eaten them all to spite her, that I yelled at her to eat crap, I did tell her that, and that I mocked her for being poor. The fact that she had to change so much of this story.
It's like ad libs. It's like, okay, well, let's erase literally everything there and then fill in the blanks because she changed the entire narrative.
Yeah, every bit. She's like, I went into the aquarium and I saw my roommate shoveling snow. She's like, this story doesn't really make sense, but I'm on your side.
Yeah.
After telling her my side of events, she realized my roommate's telling of events had a lot of holes and mine made more sense. I explained to her that she called me names and woke me up to yell at me, and that the only food she owned in the burrito bowl she was taking to work was the cheese. She apologized profusely and texted my roommate telling her how disgusted she was with her actions. Even though I was originally planning on letting her apologize and allowing her to continue to have my stuff again, the comments knocked some sense into me and told me to revoke her access to my food. I was planning on having a conversation when she would get back from work with her about clear boundaries that will be set in place from now on, and how her food will go in the mini fridge that came with the apartment, while the food I'm borrowing from my abuelita is going to be locked in the pantry with my food. She decided to go spend the night at her boyfriend's place since I'm hostile and put her mutual friend against her.
That's a lie. I know what she's doing. She's just hungry.
Yeah, she went over there for food.
Duh.
Her boyfriend has also texted me and knows that the food is 100% mine, so he's on my side. He's like, she's taking my food
Now she's taking my food.
I decided to talk to the guys in the legal department at work to know what I can do to protect myself in the worst case scenario. I must evict her. Just now, my roommate texted me that she has read the post and that she wants to talk.
How about I wake you up in the middle of the morning?
Yeah, and then we'll
we
talk.
talk.
Thanks so much for the support. I'll keep you updated. And we've got a second update. How much do you want to bet that this girl comes back and is like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
I think she's still going to keep pointing the finger
You
at
think
OP.
double down?
Yeah. 100%. How dare you post that?
Yeah.
That's not your business to air out on the internet. How dare you do that? I hope it's the other way around, but
We'll see. I think if she did come back and say, I'm so sorry, it would all be fake.
either she doubles down or it's
Put in the comments what you guys think is going to happen and then come back and tell us if you were right. Update 2. After reading the post and updates, my roommate sent me 30 plus texts asking for forgiveness, saying she doesn't want to be evicted, which, like I said, is my worst case scenario, and that we should talk. It's a day later and she's still to return, and now she has reverted her stance, texting me angrily saying I'm ruining our relationship, have Reddit against her, poisoned her friendship with mutual friends, and that she feels like I'm trying to forcibly lead her to starvation and homelessness. Guys, just a reminder, she gets free food at work, when in fact, yesterday, I spent some of my night making a nice budgeting plan so she would stop bleeding money, so she can actually buy decent groceries and even start thinking about saving in the near future. This is the first time something like this has ever happened, and after crying my eyes out multiple times yesterday and part of today, I'm at a complete loss. I thought my roommate and I were good friends. Her boyfriend texted me saying he tried talking to her, but she demanded he be on her side, and when he wasn't, she stormed to her parents' house. Her mom is crazy. Pray for me. I wonder where she got it from then.
she's just still hungry.
Yeah, she's like on a rampage of eating everything in sight. She's like, I need more.
Opie won't let me eat her food.
Yeah.
My boyfriend won't let me eat his food. Mom and Dad, I'm eating your food.
She's Goldilocks.
Yeah.
She's like, someone's got to give it to me. We've got a third update, but any final thoughts?
I think we both called it.
Yeah.
You're like,
I mean, she did both.
She
did
did both.
things.
So we both literally called it. She wasn't sincere with the apology and then doubled down.
Yeah. It's so funny. She's trying every, tactic in the book to get what she wants, and none of them are working. But we've got a third update. OP, you're doing everything right.
I guess the easiest thing you can do is evict her.
So her mother just called me yelling about how she'll sue me for slandering her daughter online. So any drop of civility I had toward my roommate is out of the window. I'm getting her much calmer sister to come pick up her stuff because I no longer feel comfortable having her come inside my home. I will be returning her rent for this month. I have talked with the legal team and I am allowed to do this after the most recent events. I also talked with the police department in my area. I cannot be sued for illegal eviction. I have no idea what the F is going on. She's getting her wish of having free food and heck, even getting free accommodation. I'm shocked it has come to this.
She's trying to sue you for food?
Yeah,
She wants more food?
She's like, I need more money for the food.
I'm going to sue you for more food, not because I want to get the food. I want your food.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, what specifically? It doesn't taste good unless it's your food. You're actually part of the Fae, and once she's eaten your food, she can't eat anything else, unfortunately.
Opie, I hope everything goes smoothly. You legally can't be sued for any of this. You didn't put her name out there.
Yeah.
So defamation's not really a thing. So I think you're good. Get her out. Let her eat whatever she wants at her parents' place, and she can be a goblin over there.
But that's the end of that story, and we've got another one coming right up.
Sure do.
Zooey mama.
My roommate asked me to disappear for the weekend because her mother is visiting?
What's she gonna do if I don't?
So, I, 23 male, live in a college apartment with 2 roommates, both of which are women. And one of them is Muslim. Let's call her Sana?
And now I understand.
We all get along pretty well and have lived together for over a year with no issues. By the way, this comes from user Wayne Kennard. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. As Opie says, yesterday, Sana told us her mom was visiting for the upcoming weekend. For info, her mom's very conservative and religious, and apparently doesn't approve of her daughter living with male roommates. Awkward, because I exist. As a result, Sana asked if I could leave the apartment entirely for the day her mom was visiting. Like, be out the whole day and even find somewhere else to sleep overnight.
It's a big ask, but I also get where she's coming from.
You paying for it?
Yeah, I would say, like, unless you could find just easily a friend, if you needed to find an apartment, I'd be like, hey, can you accommodate? Can you pay for the accommodations?
I told her I wasn't comfortable with that because I had a major assignment due, and I focus best when I'm working from home. I also didn't want to have to pack up all my stuff and go stay somewhere else just to keep up an appearance for someone I don't even know. Additionally, I pay equal rent and felt like I had a right to be in the apartment. Still, to try and compromise, I offered to stay in my room the entire day and be quiet and not come out at all on the condition that I'd be at least allowed to quickly come out, make a lunch or dinner. Or they could bring food to my room so I wouldn't starve. I genuinely thought that was fair and respectful. But no, Sana wasn't happy with that and insisted I should be out of the apartment entirely. She said her mom would freak out if she found out a guy lived there and it would cause a lot of drama in her family. I said while I understood her position, I wasn't going to dip from my own home, especially with a big deadline hanging over me. She's still pissed and being pretty cold toward me now, and also vented to our other roommate, who stayed neutral and said she saw both sides. I really wasn't trying to be difficult or disrespectful. I understand her cultural situation, but I also feel like it's unfair to expect someone to completely vacate their home just to accommodate someone else's family's beliefs, especially when I tried to find a middle ground. So, am I the a-hole?
No, you're not. However, I do completely understand why she's stressing.
It's one of those things where
Yeah.
you guys are paying the same rent,
Yeah.
you sign the lease. Unfortunately, I'm on OP's side. OP's doing a good thing of trying to compromise,
Yeah.
but you're just wanting me to leave my own place because this is your problem?
Yeah.
Sorry, why did you move in with me? Or why did
Yeah.
you allow me to be one of your roommates? Maybe it was like a financial situation or you're all friends. That's your problem to have.
Yeah.
Maybe one time. But what if this happens again?
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Like, I would be wanting to know, what if she comes over again? Am I going to have to be kicked out every time? And I would try and figure out a solution that doesn't involve you being kicked out. Maybe that means mom doesn't stay, Sana.
Yeah. Or maybe, how about this?
Yeah.
You guys go stay somewhere else. What was that an idea? I don't know.
Yeah.
What if she extends her stay? It's one of those things like, not my problem.
It would be like angel move if you did it, but I also think it sets a precedent of, you always leave.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and finish up this story and see if there's anything happening. What's going to happen? Do we think Opie's going to stay? Do we think Opie's going to move? Do we think Sana's going to stay? Or is she going to go somewhere else with her mom?
I think there's a couple different solutions here that we could figure out if people are willing.
Update. Sana never chose to have male roommates. It just so happened that she was practically bullied out of her old apartment, all female, for a conflict involving another girl, and this was her last resort. Also, I'm so disheartened to see so much hate in the comments, and it's enlightened me to be kinder and more understanding to Sana and her situation.
Oh, P saw everyone in the comments be like, I hate this girl. And he was like, oh, damn, wait, no.
This was never meant to start a debate in the comments, and I urge everyone to have more empathy and humanity. I will also be going home and asking a friend if I can stay over for a day. For everyone concerned about how I let it pass now, that it will happen again and again, I will speak to Sana about this properly and urge her to talk to her mom. Thank you all for the level-headed and empathetic comments I did get that helped me understand her perspective better.
Yay.
I do care for her greatly, and I never want to hurt her if I can help it. One day isn't the end of the world, and if it helps her, I realized I'd be happy to do it.
See, this is the angel move that I was talking about.
Truly.
It's truly like, I totally understand where she's coming from with like the religious kind of, and I think it's really kind of you to do this.
If it's, again, a one-time thing,
Yeah.
and I make it clear, if it's like a one-time thing and like this doesn't happen so many times or it's frequent,
Yeah.
buy me lunch or something like that. Like,
Well, hopefully she just does it.
yeah, it's just one of those things of, especially if it wasn't like, it was just like a regular school day
Yeah.
or like, it would not like anything like looming over your head with assignments. I get it. I think you did the right thing, OP, and make sure you have that adult conversation with her, and hopefully this goes smoothly.
But that's the end of that story, and we got some comments. All right, and these comments are from the video. My family demanded I abandon my cat. I refused. Posted June 12th, 2026. This is the TLDR for story 1. OP adopted her cat Toby 7 years ago and loves him to pieces. While staying with her sister's family for a few months between law school and a new job, her little niece grew completely attached to Toby. So when OP mentioned she would be taking her own cat when she moved out, her niece burst into tears and called her a cat robber, while her sister insisted OP should just leave the cat behind and adopt a new one for herself.
It's called being a cat burglar, actually.
What started as a sweet bond turned into the whole family ganging up on OP, right in the middle of her studying for the bar exam. How far her sister was willing to push and what OP finally did the day she left is jaw-dropping. If you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video. That was honestly, how did I do that?
Yeah, you locked in.
That was like impressive as hell.
But we got some comments. One from Professor Chaos Kitty, who says the kid saying she had a dream OP would let her keep the cat. What's the bet that she didn't dream that at all, but her mom told her to say that? That's a good idea.
Not your cat still. You wanted to see the papers? My cat.
Queen of Pony says, earlier this year, my boyfriend lost his job again and we were on the brink of eviction. We'd have to move in with his parents, which meant we'd have to give away our cats. No way. I'd rather live in my car than give up my cat. But I'm an awful person who doesn't love him because I won't abandon my cat to stay with him.
That one sounds like a very interesting situation.
I do think your cat may prefer to live with your parents.
I think a roof over anyone's head is better than living in a car, especially with pets.
But I understand the sentiment.
I remember this story.
Deborah Ruth Trotter, enabling the child's desire for somebody else's property is extremely narcissistic behavior. This sister is being a jerk by feeding into her child's whims and spoiling her rather than teaching the child that you don't always get what you want.
Cue up the song.
This is not okay. Setting boundaries is the most loving thing to do here because if she doesn't learn early on that they don't always get their way, it will cause her major problems in life.
Major.
And comment 4, Jennifer Daniels. It sounds like OP and her cat were with them for so long that the niece probably thought that the cat was the family's, not OP's. But the parents need to parent niece and help her with the loss.
How old was the niece again?
I'll say 9.
I get the girl has a very big relationship with Toby. You gotta learn, not your pet. I know you like Toby, but maybe you get another cat and name it Toby 2 or Toby Maguire.
Toby
Or
Maguire.
or even better, Tubi.
Or not to be.
Hmm.
But that's the end of those comments and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.
Hey, don't leave. Where are you going? We have more bonus episodes for you to listen to. We think you're gonna like them, so stick around. Please.
My best friend's fiance demands I stop using my nickname for her, but I refused.
Say my name, or don't.
So, there is me, 29 female, my best friend, also 29 female, and her fiance, 30s male. They just got engaged last week. I'm going to be their maid of honor. Yay! Her fiance is fine. I think not in the hot way, but just in like the it's okay way.
Yep.
We're not best friends forever or anything, but he's cool. He's kind of socially an awkward nerd, and it's hard to get him to open up without bringing up what he's most interested in, what he does for a living, whatever TV show he's watching, etc. And then the conversation with him can get a little one-sided. And by the way, this comes from user D and Cease. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit and submit them there. So, my best friend and I have been friends since we were 15. 5-ish years ago, before my best friend started dating her fiance, she and I watched The Wire together. We both now consider it our favorite show. Anyway, after watching that show, I started calling her D as a nickname because, well, her name starts with D. And also, there's a character we both like who's also called D. I almost exclusively call her by her nickname now. Warning, there's a spoiler for The Wire in the following paragraph, so if you haven't seen it, don't keep reading.
Dang it. Oh, well.
Honestly, if you
I guess it's
haven't
done.
watched,
I guess it's over.
The Wire's been out for 20 years.
No, I need more time.
You've had your time. I got a very unexpected message from her fiance last night on Facebook. He told me that now that he and Dee are getting married, he kindly requests that I stop calling her by the nickname I gave her, as it's not a very mature way of addressing her. I would hate to think of you calling her that during your speech at our wedding. He also went on to say that he never approved of that nickname anyway because the character gets unalived in the show, and he doesn't like that imagery associated with my future wife. I'm not the most diplomatic person, so I don't entirely know how to respond. I'm not even entirely sure if I should say anything at all. There's a ha ha ha, but also part of me that wants to send back, sure, no problem, bro. I'll just start calling her Brody instead, or maybe Omar. Oh, I know. I'll start calling her Snoop. Snoop would be a great fit for her. A similar part of me wants to agree with him, and then during their wedding, just use her nickname constantly during my speech. And there's another, admittedly angrier part of me that wants to say, what? Are you kidding me? No. Request denied. Oh, and F you. Don't ever dictate to me how I should interact with my best friend. There's also this weird possessiveness associated with his wording the message. He never calls her by her name, just a lot of my future wife. My fiance. My best friend is fiercely independent, and I know she wouldn't appreciate being talked about like that. So maybe I should forward the message on to her, saying something like, hey, your fiance just sent this to me, and I don't really know what to make of it. Edit for an important detail that I forgot to add. My best friend and I are both bi, and we have macked in the past. A little smoochy. Just
the
a couple,
50-50 game.
just
I
a
love it.
little make out. A good handful of times in high school. we're like, we need to practice for our future boyfriends. And now we're like, what do you mean? What boyfriends? Right, yeah, boyfriends, sure, And I don't know, 4 or 5 times in college. So you, that's an important detail.
Yeah.
That's a pretty important detail.
Hey, they're just friends. I mean, they're just trying to figure out for their
Yeah.
future, partners.
Yeah, friends that had talked about dating each other.
Practice for the wedding kiss.
A little slip of the tongue and purple trader.
Whoa!
Purple trader with a little slip of their tongue.
Oh my God.
Perpetrator, just for the chaos. Oh, why do my eyes look like that? I'm melting. We had talked about dating each other, but I don't know. We love each other, but I don't think we would ever be in love with each other. We're pretty different people, which is why I think we make such good friends, but not terribly good significant others. The last time we talked about being in a relationship was like, I don't know, 8 years ago. It's now only just occurring to me that maybe this has something to do with her fiance's unexpected message. Any advice would be appreciated. Thanks, y'all. And there's a small update.
Okay. Un poquito.
Well, I just got off the phone with D. Oh, she didn't stop using that nickname.
Nope.
She called me and I started to answer like I usually do, which is, sup, D? But then, remembering that maybe she doesn't want to be called that anymore, I just sort of awkwardly extended the D sound into her full name. So I answered like, sup, D? Full name? Rest of name? She admittedly said, fiance told you to stop calling me D, didn't he? I said yes, and she exclaimed, what? The F! I can't believe he actually effing did that. Look, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. And don't stop calling me D. You got it, D, I replied. We said our goodbyes and she hung up. So I think someone might have crossed the line. And we do have some comments here.
Okay.
Let's get into them a little bit here. Comment number 1, tell your friend, okay? Ask her if it bothers her that you call her D. And as we now already know, it's not the case.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm 99% sure, OP says, that she doesn't mind that I call her D. She never hesitated to let me know when I've done something to annoy her, but I will be sure to ask her anyway. Comment 2 says, whatever you do, do not use your speech to sabotage their wedding, which I agree with.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, this guy seems oddly possessive, and I think you should follow other people's advice by forwarding your friend the email and asking her if she shares her husband's opinion. But even if she does not share his opinion on the nickname, don't play the prank of saying okay to her fiance's message and then turning around and dropping her nickname all throughout your maid of honor speech. A wedding is not the time to do that. It'll ruin the day, and suddenly one of the biggest days of your friend's life will be all about you and your I was here before her husband act of defiance. And that makes you know better than her husband, because then the two of you are playing a weird possessive game of who lays first claim to a fully grown independent adult. And there is a third comment that says your edit is super important. And I'm just going to see... okay, there's another update. We're going to the update.
Okay.
Before we go to the update,
Yes.
John,
Decoder.
what is your take on I guess, the hot button take on, is it okay to tell someone who's getting married, or to address someone getting married by a nickname?
Yep. I mean, that is the hottest topic. I mean, it is the most hotly contested, debated topic in human history.
Is it just
I would say
the thickest line you don't cross ever? Now that it's my wife, her nickname belongs to me.
Obviously, no. It's like, hey, it's in a vacuum, right? We'll talk about the other thing in a second. Like in a vacuum, hey, it's fun, it's cute, they're friends. Super weirdly controlling, super weirdly possessive of fiance, of the groom. Not liking that. I'm not liking that. I say keep the nickname. However, we got that very important update, which did claim that they would, practice kissing for their future boyfriends and
smooch here and there.
husbands and everything. And maybe this is where, maybe groom is using this as like a vehicle to like try and address, like, what if he's like, next step, I don't want you to speak. Next step after that, I don't want you bridesmaid or whatever. Next step after that, I don't want you at the wedding.
That's right.
Get out of here.
Starts the little baby step increments
Slippery
into the
slope.
Control.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. I think I'm going to say that's my prediction for what he does, and then it ends up in a divorce. And then OP and her end up together.
You mean a divorce?
Divorce.
You got me, Keon.
Yeah.
I always got you, baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. And your eyes are matching the background today. Look at
Ooh,
that.
It's like a green
Look at
screen, but on
those.
your face.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow. Everybody tell Keon how cute he is.
Ooh, do it.
Don't.
And
do
you
it.
know what? I'm
I'll
actually going to
blush.
go back and I'm going to read this comment
Let's do it.
because
Context.
I forgot that the edit they were talking about was the smooching edit. So your edit is super important. This is probably a huge issue between the three of you. These two are now getting married, but one member of that future marriage has made out with their best friend multiple times. It's probably causing some discomfort. I'd say be prepared for the dynamics of your friendship to change because not many people would be okay with someone they were marrying being so close friends with someone they had been close with in other ways, making out and you saying you love her. There's probably a lot going on behind the scenes in terms of this that you're not hearing about, or maybe you are and you just didn't include it. He brought the nickname up because it's something intimate and close you and your friend share, and I'd expect a lot more of the same. Looking at it from his point of view, can you blame him? That take was kind of whack.
Yeah. Again, the nickname thing is stupid. However, if the groom was like, "Hey, look, I know you're super close with your friend, but I got to admit it does make me a little bit uncomfortable, and I just want to I don't know, make sure there's nothing that maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm crazy, but this is how I'm feeling." That is acceptable. Not going to her like, "Hey, you know that nickname you got? You gotta stop that. I'm big man. I'm big man, man. You know I have nickname." No. Stupid.
I just love the way he talks. My beautiful husband. That's why I'm marrying him. His voice.
Hey, you're my wife. Yeah. Goodbye.
I picked him up in a time machine. I went back to the caveman times.
Hottest Neanderthal on the street.
Okay, let's get into this update.
Let's go.
Dee and her older brother are very close, and she wanted him to be one of her bridesmaids. I guess that would make him a bridesman or something. Whatever, that doesn't matter. Anyway, the message her brother received said that will no longer be happening, as the wedding was going to be traditional, and Dee's brother would be replaced with the fiance's sister, who lives on the other side of the country, who Dee has met 4 times. So not someone you would want on your bridal party, a stranger. Dee's cousin was also messaged informing her that because of her lifestyle, she will no longer be part of Dee's bridal party. However, if her cousin leaves her wife at home for the wedding, her position will be reconsidered. If you can cosplay as a straight woman, we'll let you participate. That's ridiculous. Another of Dee's bridesmaids has short hair, a nose piercing, and small but visible tattoos.
Here we go.
Again, dismissed from the bridal party unless she changes her appearance to be more presentable. And then there was me. I guess he couldn't find much dirt on me, so he just decided to reprimand me for my choice in nicknames for her, or something. I don't effing know. She was completely unaware that any of this had happened and was just quietly sitting at home alone when her brother called her and was like, "What the heck is going on?" Dee was understandably very confused, and her brother explained the message. At first, she thought he was kidding, but he forwarded it to her. She immediately called her fiance, who was out with friends, and demanded an explanation. He calmly explained that yes, he did send that message to her brother, and he messaged the other members in her bridal party as well, and told her his reasons why. As if on cue, her phone starts blowing up with texts and phone calls from her cousin, understandably, as her cousin arguably got the worst message out of all of us. Dee basically said to her fiance, "You need to come home right now," hangs up on him, and calls her cousin. Let's go, Dee. Nice.
go.
Power play.
Give it
Power
to him,
play
D.
time.
Give him that D.
You need to
D.
come home and change everything about your personality. After spending time calming her cousin down, she calls me and we had our brief but informative conversation. And then she called her tattooed friend. At this point, it's been about half an hour since she first called her fiance and he still wasn't home. So she called him again, being like, "Where are you? Come home right now." Her fiance then tells her, "No, he will not be coming home right now. He is out with friends and will return when he chooses to." He threw in, quote, "You're being emotional right now anyway. I expect you to stop acting like a child by the time I return."
I could say that to you.
Yeah, you're being the child.
That's right.
Child on you. You are child.
What if we called husband Lil D?
Ooh.
Yeah, little,
For the implications.
little D. The implications are simply irresistible.
Irresistible.
So she was so furious that she just hung up on him. He finally meanders his butt home, and she immediately loses her crap on him. He keeps telling her to stop being irrational and think logically, to which she basically responded with, "What the F are you talking about? There was nothing rational or logical about what you did."
There we go. Yes.
He starts talking about how weddings aren't about the bride. What? What?
Whoa.
Which is like, what? What? It's like the only rule
Stop.
is...
Stop.
That's crazy. OP says, which is like, what? No. D is not the type of person to think that her wedding is only going to be about her. It's about bringing family and friends together, and he can't have people like your friends in front of all of his friends and family. What about his professional reputation? He's some highfalutin lawyer?
Highfalutin.
Highfalutin? Highfalutin lawyer. What will his parents think when they see her friend with all the piercings? She has one nose piercing, and me calling her some ridiculous black name during my wedding speech. So, like, divorce and then also, like, throw him out of the planet's
Yeah.
gravity
Yeah.
into a black hole using a trebuchet of some kind.
Yes.
Where he will turn into stinky spaghetti.
Stinky spaghetti.
What?
The most
What?
painful way.
OP clarifies. Look, I never used that phrase, but this is the phrase I can think of. What is this? I don't even. Black name? What? Black name? D, at this point, was so furious that she tried to throw him out. But he just sighed, sat down on the couch, and said, "You are being utterly ridiculous right now. I am not leaving. You need to calm down." So she decided to leave instead. As she was packing her stuff, he kept heaving great sighs and calling some variation of, "You're being so irrational. Calm down," from across the apartment. So she left. She called me, absolutely livid, asking if she could come over to my place. I, of course, said yes. And when she arrived, she told me everything that happened. There was one point when we were talking where she covered her face with her hands and just started sobbing, which is fair, because that's something you do when you realize the guy you thought you were going to marry is actually so grotesque that you don't want anything to do with him anymore. She said that she knew that their relationship hasn't been going well for a while. All he did was go to work, spend time with his other obnoxious lawyer friends, come home, watch CNN or MSNBC, and sleep. Their conversations became painfully one-sided, where he would talk endlessly about something she didn't find interesting, and whenever she would try to change the subject, he would basically wait for her to stop and then keep talking as if she had said nothing at all. He never helps clean around the apartment as, quote, cleaning was not as important to him as it was to her, so she should do it. And it was going to get messy again anyway. He stopped holding her hand in public. If she was upset or sad about something, he would always find some excuse to leave. I mean, the list just keeps going. He's just this thoughtless, self-centered jerk. Honestly, I've always gotten wienerish vibes from him. See a previous post where I briefly mentioned how hard it was to get him to talk to you unless you talked about something he was interested in, but I never knew that he was that big of a wiener. She and her fiance texted last night and this morning, and again, there was more, "Stop this, you're being childish, come home." He's so nonchalant. Ugh.
Sucks.
She said she wasn't being childish, that there was some really serious problems in their relationship, and she doesn't think they can move forward without some premarital counseling. He replied with, "Fine. Now, are you coming home tonight?" It initially took her a few hours for her to respond to that text. As soon as she read it, she slumped over on my couch, pulled her knees up to her chest, and said, "I really don't want to go back in that apartment." She later said that she has a really heavy feeling that even if they did go to premarital counseling, nothing would change. She could easily see him thinking that he is smarter than the therapist and trying to use the therapist to convince her that she's being irrational. I then asked, "So does that mean the wedding isn't going to happen?" And she just burst into tears again. Sad face. I felt really awful asking that, and I probably shouldn't have asked that. I held her and apologized and kept saying, it's okay, you don't have to answer that right now," until she calmed down. She decided she wanted another night away from him, and she texted him to let him know that. He has yet to respond. Honestly, I don't even think you're out of line for asking that, and if I was in your position, I would be like, not even being like, "So do you think the wedding's not going to happen?" I'd be like, you can't marry this guy. This guy's showing you exactly what's going to happen for the rest of your life if you
Yeah.
marry this guy.
Yeah, I mean, to your point though, it's like she's like, this is like the moment where she's like, everything's falling apart and like how insane it must be to like actually have it sink in that this is the man you were going to marry.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, let's get a good night of sleep and like whatever else. And then it's like, oh, probably not the best move to marry him.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't continue to hammer the point home right now, right?
Yeah.
Just get it out there, then go to sleep,
Yeah.
wake up. Here we go.
Here we go. Or here we don't.
Out of curiosity, I did ask her if she thinks his message to me had anything to do with us hooking up in the past.
Ooh.
She said no. She never told him that she was bi. She said that she never felt comfortable sharing that with him. She burst into tears again when she said this, admitting that's probably a sign that this relationship was effed up from the start. And we agree.
Ding, 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 ding.
Anyway, Dee and I both took the day off from work. We spent it eating ice cream and day drinking and marathoning Parks and Rec. We went for a walk and she talked and cried a lot. Right now, all her bridesmaids, including her brother, are at my place. They're contacting her all day, asking if she was okay and if they could come see her. I told her that she can tell them all that they can come over to my place later, and initially she said no. She said she was so embarrassed by everything that happened that she wasn't sure she could handle seeing everyone. I shut that down pretty quick, saying she had nothing to be embarrassed about. All this BS has everything to do with her fiance and not her. It took a little more convincing, and her friends and brother offering to bring some booze and some ice cream. But they're all here now. Her cousin brought her wife too, and Dee started crying again as soon as they walked in and apologized profusely to the two of them. They insisted that wasn't necessary, but she apologized anyway, and I want to apologize to you.
Why, Dakota?
Because you can listen to full episodes just like this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you get your podcasts, iHeartRadio perhaps. All you have to do is search OK Storytime, and then you've got the full catalog. And I have to apologize because you're going to spend the next 48 consecutive days listening to our podcast.
You're going to have the best 48 days of your life awake.
It's true.
Because you can't fall asleep because of how riveting it is.
Can't fall asleep. No sleep, 48 days, nothing else on your agenda. And, you know, I apologized at first for that, but I'm taking that back. You're welcome. Clearly,
Yes.
it's hard to realize the guy you're going to marry sucks and that you're not going to marry him.
Yeah.
But I think this is the perfect environment to have been in with one of your best friends. And all the people who are, you know, like in your bridal party are also there to support you. It's always going to be rough. It would be weird if you were just like, no, this is totally fine. Unaffected.
Yeah.
That would be abnormal, I think. So let's go ahead and finish this story here.
Okay.
She's going to spend the night at her brother's tonight. I told her she was welcome to stay here, but her brother and his wife have like an actual house, and so there are guest rooms she can stay in as opposed to my one-bedroom apartment. Said brother is making her favorite dinner right now. There's about 20 pints of Ben & Jerry's in the fridge and more wine and vodka than you can shake a stick at. We still got Parks and Rec on in the background, and we're all piled on my couch with her.
Treat yourself.
She's all
Treat yourself.
burritoed up, treat yourself, in a blanket, and I dumped a basket of stuffed animals on her head earlier today, which made her crack up laughing.
Treating yourself.
That's nice.
Cute.
That's treating your
Laughter
friend.
is the best of medicine.
And you know what? This is like the bridal group. These are the people she wanted to celebrate with. The biggest moment of her life.
Exactly.
Coming together. It makes sense.
Support.
Good.
We like this.
Support.
Basically, we're all just trying to be there for her as best as we can. Comments? So comment number 1.
Talk to me.
Talk about escalating quickly, my God. Well, it seems like this has all been a blessing in disguise. Your friend has escaped the clutches of a stuck-up, narrow-minded, condescending, a little shrimp of a man. Good for her, and good for you for being such a good friend. I couldn't say it better, and that is the end of that story, and I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
My male best friend's fiance is jealous of me. She gave him an ultimatum, me or their engagement.
Oh, that's healthy.
There is a little trigger warning here. There is loss and grief from self-harm. If that's something you cannot compute internally right now, do not listen to this story. July 16th, 2020. Hello, all. So, here is the backstory. I've been best friends with this guy that we'll call Troy, 23, 3, since we've been in 8th grade. All throughout high school, we hung out together with our other mutual best friend, Adam. All 3 of us hung out quite a bit and did nearly everything together. By the way, this comes from user Pelican Dom, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, in high school, we had our fair share of losses and trauma. There was a point where both Adam and Troy stayed at my house for a couple of months prior to college due to home problems. So I think we got closer than usual friends because we learned to lean on each other so much. Fast forward to college, and all 3 of us went to different colleges, but we would all FaceTime each other every other day. Leaving our families and each other was rough for us, and we had developed a sort of codependency on each other in high school, and our continuing communication every day didn't help the situation, but we were coping. Come sophomore year, Troy started dating his now fiance, Emily. They get on well and are a great couple, and I'm very happy for them.
The T stands for Troy.
The T stands for Troy. Shout out to the High School Musical folks. From the beginning, Troy was very clear that I was just a friend and that he tells me and Adam everything. She was all right with it as far as I knew at the time. So it wasn't uncommon for us to hear about his relationship problems and fights they were having. When Adam and I went to visit him and met her for the first time, she was very kind to us, albeit a little awkward, but that's understandable. Whenever we would visit him, he would kind of ignore her and hang out with us exclusively. And we pointed that out to him, but he always dismissed it as he saw her every day and us maybe once every 6 months. I let it slide because it wasn't my fight to fight. I think it was our visits and his neglect of her that started her bitterness towards me. Which honestly, like if you do see somebody every single day and you have like a friend who you see twice a year that's in town, I think it's totally fair to be hanging out with those people.
Yeah. But does it bring out the insecurity in the other person?
I probably. And there's a way to do that where it doesn't feel like you're neglecting your partner.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that was achieved here.
There's a difference of like dropping them like your partner like a rock and like, all right, I gotta go, or like, hey, communicating it.
Yeah,
There's a
correct.
big difference.
Let them know.
Yeah, just let them know.
Let them know.
So, years went by, and now they're engaged. Adam was chosen as the best man, and I'm meant to be a groomsman in his wedding. A few months ago, our best friend, Adam, took his own life. Troy and I were, and still are, devastated. It came out of nowhere, and we blame ourselves, even though we know it's not our fault. I live alone in an apartment and expressed to Troy that I was distressed and lonely, especially due to the vid lockdown. Troy dropped everything to come live with me for a few weeks as we dealt with our grief and could talk to each other about it. We're both in therapy right now for this grief. A week ago, Troy got a call from Emily that she wants him back at their apartment now because she doesn't trust him with me. She went off that he was cheating on her with me and that he should be choosing her over me. He got upset with her and basically told her he was grieving and she didn't understand what he was going through, but that I did. It came down to a point where Emily gave him an ultimatum and said that Troy could either choose me or her. He said it was unfair of her to make him choose between 2 important people in his life, and that if she can't understand that he needs me, then maybe they weren't meant to be together. Well, that all escalated very quickly.
It sure did.
She was hurt by that statement and told him she needed to cool off and think, so they hung up. Today, Emily texted me asking if I had feelings for him, and I said no. She then called me and asked if I loved him, and I told her yes, but as a brother. I would do anything for Troy. It's like,
right.
Where have I seen that one before?
It's like, oh.
Ooh.
God.
The T stands for totally in love with you as a brother.
Oh. Ooh, nice.
Oh, stay away from the washing machine.
Oh, God.
I'd do anything for Troy. She told me if I did love him, I would take a step back and let her have him. I told her that this is a conversation she needs to have with him and that I'm tired of being in the middle of it. She got angry with me and hung up, and I immediately told Troy about my conversation with her. He called her and broke up with her. This is all going pretty quickly here.
Yeah.
OP says, I think it was hasty and emotional, and I'm trying to talk him out of it, but I'm not sure what else I can do. Can you all give me some advice? I feel like this is my fault for asking him to come stay with me. And we have a edit, which starts with, hey all, it's been a few hours since I posted this, and I didn't expect to get all these responses. Thank you all for your input. It's really helped me get some perspective. I've been told that my relationship with both Troy and Adam was detrimental to the rest of the relationships, and I was taking steps to fix that, but with Adam's passing and the vid stress, all the lessons I've been learning kind of flew out the window. That's no excuse for how I've been behaving. Troy is a dear friend, and I've been sabotaging his relationships with other people unknowingly. That's not fair to him or to the people in his life. I've considered Emily a friend too since I've met her, but I haven't been a good friend to her either. Since I posted this, Troy broke down about his breakup and regrets breaking up with her. He texted her and they agreed to try and talk things out in a couple of days when they have both had time to consider everything. I showed Troy this thread and he got to hear what you all were saying too, so hopefully that helps. He and I agreed we need some space apart, so he will stay at my apartment and I'm staying on the couch of a coworker. Again, thank you for all your input, for those who supported me and those who called Troy and me out on our behavior. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. You were two very good friends who were there for each other in a moment of extreme grief.
This is ultimately on Troy. Yeah, OP could have been, I guess, more thoughtful and everything, but it is not OP's responsibility.
Yeah.
That is the key.
This is true. Hopefully, with our continued therapy and eventual boundaries, we can maintain a healthy friendship as well as have healthy relationships with other people. And we have some comments here, top comments. Napster, my favorite, says, I don't think there's anything you can do here. If I'm Emily, I'm seeing my fiance, my future husband, in a codependent, quote-unquote, relationship with another woman, whom he tells everything about our relationship, who regularly ignores and abandons me to hang out with her when she visits, and who literally moved in with her during his grief. How can she be his wife when he turns to you exclusively to the point of moving in with you when he needs support? This is not a man who is ready to marry.
Again,
maybe, but like,
I feel like this person is projecting into the, like, obviously it wasn't okay with Troy's partner, but that could be fine in
yeah.
I think that the key here is, not that, he's not ready to be in a relationship. No, if they're not able to communicate and find out what the other feels and a situation that works for both of them, that is when they're not ready to get married.
Correct. Agreed.
That is it.
I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm just saying he clearly doesn't want her in the wife role. It's not a play, dog. This is real life. If I was her, I would have skipped the ultimatum and just dumped him. It's obvious she can never come close to the role that you play in his life. A reply here from BH0000. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. Well, I'll say it. I feel badly for OP, especially with the loss of her friend, but Emily is absolutely 100% right. How humiliating it must have been for her to even have to issue an ultimatum, but what else could she do? I don't know, have like a clear communication, like a dialogue about this, because clearly
Impossible.
No one's on the same page.
No, I have to shut my lips and yell somehow. Because doing those two things at the same time makes sense.
And then he confirmed her worst fears and chose OP over her. There's nothing about this relationship that is okay for a man in an engaged or married situation. He left his soon-to-be wife to go live with another woman during a global pandemic, and she asked him to. He ditches his fiance for OP whenever she's around. What's that all about? It was OP's responsibility to tell him that if he's going to be married, she needs to be brought into the group, even if only because he wasn't willing to set up that expectation himself. Frankly, they deserve one another, and I hope Emily finds herself a real loyal man. Wow, that was so harsh.
Dude, the comments are going crazy.
Internet don't care.
The internet is interneting and then net negative.
Anyway, there's an update. Let's see what happens in the update.
Let's get into it.
July 28th, 2020. Hey all, I thought I'd just give you an update on what happened since I made my first post here. A few hours after Troy broke up with Emily, he broke down in tears and was miserable. He regretted breaking up with her and texted her. They both agreed to talk to each other after a few days when they had a chance to cool off and think things through. I also texted Emily after I got some advice from a DM and apologized for everything and how I may have hurt her. She replied with thanks, and that was it. But that was all right. I needed to apologize to her. That evening, Troy and I were able to go over the comments from the original post and talk with each other. He and I agreed we needed some space from each other, so that night I called up a coworker and asked if I could crash on their couch for a few days. They agreed, so Troy stayed at my apartment and I went to my coworker's. We didn't talk for 5 days to give each other some space. That was really hard for me because I kept overthinking that Troy hated me and that he didn't want me in his life anymore. I was convinced that I was going to lose Troy, and that made me miserable because we just lost Adam, but that was just my anxiety speaking. He called me after a few days saying that he had spoken with Emily and that they were back together. I was so happy for them and relieved. I wanted to ask for details, but I figured I had stuck my nose into the relationship too much as is, so I didn't ask, and Troy didn't say anything to me. He told me that I should come back to the house though, and I asked if Emily was all right with that. He said yes, so I moved back into my apartment. When I got back to my apartment, I asked him if he was going back to his apartment with Emily, but he said no due to the vid, he's going to stay with me for the next few weeks minimum. It was a strange time regardless.
But
Because it's like, I can imagine that just being vid type stuff where it's like, well, now I got to stay here for 2 weeks and make sure I don't get sick because now I've been exposed to you and you were exposed to your friend. Now you're exposing to me. And so I got to wait a couple weeks to make sure I'm not exposing anyone else.
the thing that's weird to me is he's telling and not asking. He's telling OP, I'm going to be living in your house for 2 more weeks.
That is true.
Not being like, hey, like, just because, you know, stuff like, could we give it another 2 weeks just to make sure the coasts are clear and then I could head on back?
Yeah.
Little.
But maybe that's just like the friendship was that tight already.
It could be, but
he
still,
was staying in the house already, the apartment by himself already.
to your good friend, to your bestest of friends, would you not say, hey, would you mind
True.
if I stayed?
Of course.
If anything, you would do that even more because you're like, hey, I love you. I want to make sure you're Gucci.
Yeah. Having had several days apart with no communication was something new for us. So when we were together again, we just talked about everything we had been thinking about. We talked about how much we missed Adam, what we could have done to help him, and the guilt we were both holding on to. It also came to the surface that Troy rushed to my side when I asked him to because he was afraid that I was in danger of self-harm and he didn't want to lose me either. I felt really guilty about that. I scared Troy, and that was never my intention. Which, well, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And it's
Also helpful context.
yeah,
as well.
and that does make more sense. So after that, we just started talking about all the memories we had with Adam, and that was really uplifting, even if we were crying the whole time. I also told him how I was nervous during our separation time, and he said he felt the same way. We laughed at that and agreed that we need to work on our independence from each other more. Okay, good.
Good.
That's good.
Good.
The next day, I got a call from Emily and answered it. She wanted to apologize for assuming I was with Troy and talk about the text I sent her. She and I had an emotional talk for a couple of hours, but eventually we saw where the other was coming from. She often thought that Adam and I didn't like her, but that was only because he and I hadn't properly included her whenever we were with Troy. However, at the end of the talk, we agreed that we should talk to each other more, since Troy is significant in each of our lives. It was a good talk with her and clarified everything. She is a super sweet and considerate woman, and I think she's perfect for Troy. I'd love to be her friend too. Troy and I are going to therapy and are working on our codependence and our grief counseling in our separate therapy sessions.
That word separate was important.
Separate.
I thought they were about to say, we're going in counseling to couples counseling together. I'm like,
I was also about to be like, here I go, getting yanked again.
yank.
Getting yanked.
But no, it's okay.
Can you imagine the therapist like having that epiphany too? Like realizing like, you're in couples therapy. This is your friends?
You're friends. Yeah, we can't spend a day not talking to each other.
Get out, both of you. One of you. One
One at a time.
One of you at a time. I've also started looking into a codependence group, and I think I'll start attending those meetings. But since there's just one in town, Troy isn't going to join because we don't want to go to the same one. Smart. Emily also said that Troy and her are going to start couples therapy. So when he moves back with her, that is what they will be doing. So that's the update. Emily and Troy are back together. Troy will be with me for the next few weeks, and Emily and I started building our friendship. Hopefully from here on out, there will be more communication between those two and better boundaries between me and Troy. Troy and I are willing to put in the effort, and Emily is supportive of us, so I'm optimistic. I'm sure Adam is happy that we're moving forward together. If y'all have any more advice for me or any words of encouragement, I would love to hear them. Thank you all for your help with the initial post, though. I don't think the situation would be getting better if you all hadn't helped Troy and me open our eyes. So thank you. And we have some relevant comments here. Hey, and you know what? I think before we get into those,
Yes.
we've moved in the right direction.
We did.
And I was not in a fully informed place at the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
But it seems like they have cracked the code that they need to learn how to exist without each other in
Yes.
some capacity.
I mean, honestly, they realize the codependence and that they need to, separate and live their own lives. They're friends, after all, for freaking Pete's sake. They talked. Everyone talked and clarified, got each other's feelings out. Oh, I understand where you're coming from. Oh, we all understand the context of the situation. And then everyone is doing the self-work in therapy.
just a little, a little
not
chef's
mad.
kiss right there.
I'm not mad.
Not mad at all. Am I the only one who thinks the issue itself isn't resolved whatsoever? Oh, God. Getting yanked.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here
Getting
we
yanked
go.
again. I feel like you guys all talked about it without actually doing anything to fix it. The fact that he's going to continue living with you for another few weeks at least pretty much negates everything, but this is pandemic time.
Yeah.
Sliced says nothing changed. I cannot believe this situation. Imagine going to therapy for codependency and then still living together. Emily needs to get the heck out and let these two have each other. Pandemic.
Context, baby.
Galaxy patio. I feel so bad that she took him back. This isn't going to change. They're still up to the same nonsense, and as soon as they feel a breakthrough on the therapy, they'll probably stop going, and then they're back to square one. This isn't an issue that gets solved with short-term therapy. Stuff like this can take years to unravel, especially with how long they've known each other. Stop trying to say that a tight friendship is something you need to unravel in therapy. They're just super tight.
Super tight, bro.
It's just going to be him choosing OP again and again until Emily gets sick of it or manages to get him to cut her off. And there's a second update.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
here we go.
Let's go.
Wow. I did not expect the amount of hatred that this update post would receive. I thought the situation resolved itself positively. And by the way, I'm positive that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search OK Storytime, bing, and then you will have now 49 days.
Ooh.
49 consecutive days
Breaking news.
of stories to listen to.
That's correct.
And speaking of stories to listen to, let's listen to the rest of this story.
My ears are ready.
Y'all want Troy out of my apartment right away, though. So I told him that he should head home as soon as possible to be with Emily, and he admitted that he did not want to go back to Florida because of the increase of the Rona, and that he liked the relatively relaxed state of things here in my state, which is exactly what I said. I told him that he was being paranoid and that he would be all right if he did the quarantine once he got back. So not the most sympathetic thing I could have told him, but since he works from home anyway, he can do this without any issues. He called Emily and they bought a plane ticket for him to head back in 3 days, so he's leaving. Okay, well, that's good. Emily is excited to have him back, and I'm glad that they can be back together again. If anything else changes or if there's anything else you all want to know, just comment. I'll update this post. And that is the end of that story.